Good day everyone, this is Frost and this is Frost Moto. So first, thank you God for allowing this to happen. Second, thank you Motor Cebu, KTM Philippines, KTM Cebu, Sir Ivy, Sir Erlan, Sir Toles for allowing me to review the KTM. So I am done comparing the Duke to the CB650 and Kawasaki Z650. So I'm gonna put the link in the description so you can check it out. So if you love motorcycles, push the subscribe button, and if you want updates, push the notification bell. So what are we gonna do now? Let's review the KTM Duke 790 and let's have a test drive. So before we begin, let's do a sound check. If you're wondering why does a 799cc displacement has a very small engine compared to its other counterparts, like the CB650 was a very big engine. First, it's an inline-4. Second, this is a 2-cylinder. But again, never doubt the capacity of the KTMs. Before they created the Duke 790, they tested 48 engines on a dyno, 7.5 days non-stop. So any engine or components that failed, they immediately took it, replaced it, and improved it, and they studied it to make sure that they would be able to deliver the best quality engines to their customers. The engine may seem small, but the quality of components that they use here are with good high-end qualities that you can really trust. And aside from that, the purpose of it to be small is to be more sharp and to have lesser weight. And by the looks of it, you can actually say that they are using good quality materials. And one example of that is the trellis frame. And it has a 799cc 2-cylinder parallel that mimics a V-twin engine. So I'm gonna tell you why does it mimic a V-twin engine. So it is liquid-cooled, 4-stroke, 4 valves, dual overhead cam, and 6-speed transmission. So 4 valves each cylinder, a total of 8. And the engine of the KTM Duke 790 has a 285-degree crankshaft. And the purpose of that is to mimic the 75-degree angle of a V-twin engine. Because KTM bikes are always been known to do a 1 to 2 cylinder and a V-twin engine. The purpose of that, they keep mimicking their engines to have a V-twin similar output and sound because they want to keep the heritage and history of their bikes where they began processing or making KTM bikes. And because of the aggressive and sharp look of the KTM Duke 790, they are also known as the scalpel. So later in this video, I'm gonna tell you why do they call the KTM Duke 790 the scalpel. And let's continue. So the bore and stroke is 88 by 65.7 mm. That punches out a max torque of 78 kW at 8,500 RPM. That produces a max torque of 87 Nm at 8,000 RPM. And the compression ratio is 12:7:1. And one of the nice things about the KTM Duke 790 is the quality of plastic that they're using to cover the gas tank. And it makes it more aggressive and more sharper. And aside from that, it actually covers your tank from scratches. So the fuel capacity is 14 liters fuel injected, and KTM claims of a 25 to 30 km per liter. So for a 799cc bike, it's actually good. And for the front tire, the KTM uses a 120 by 70 by 17, and the stock tire is Maxxis. So let us go to the rear. And one of the nice things about the rear stock tire of the KTM Duke 790 is its tire size. So the tire size is 180 by 55 by 17, and the stock tire is still Maxxis. And for the rear brake, so the rear brake is 240mm single disc brake, and the brand caliper is KTM. And let us go for the front brake. So the KTM uses 2 dual disc brake. So the size are 300mm and the caliper brand name is still KTM. So for the front brakes, it has a very good stopping power. And now let us go to the reason why do they call the KTM Duke 790 the scalpel. Actually, there are several reasons for that. First is because of its aggressive and sharp look. And second is on how precise the KTM Duke 790 in terms of its handling and execution in cornering. As we all know what a scalpel is, the scalpel is being used in surgery for its precision to cut through and slice through skin. And that being said, you can use that same analogy to the KTM Duke 790 in terms of its precision and handling. And for this suspension, it uses a WP brand inverted shock in front, while the rear is a monoshock with a preload damping adjuster. And let us go to the dimensions. So for the dimensions, the seat height of the KTM Duke 790 is 825mm and the ground clearance is 186mm and the curb weight is 174 kg. So guys, the KTM Duke 790 is a friendly user bike. Again, for a 799cc, its weight is around 174 kg, and if you're a very competitive person, this is a big advantage. And the materials that they are using here in the key is actually nice. It isn't plastic, it is rubberized, and the metal is actually kind of strong. And let us check what is the inside of the seat cover. So let's open it if there's any space. So again, for the storage, you can actually put here some important files like ORCR, license, or the things that you need to travel. But one of the good thing here is the battery. The battery is actually open. It can be easily replaced and easily removed. I don't know what kind of materials they are using here, but I know it is a good quality because first, even if the engine is running hot, the exhaust is not that affected. And aside from that, the sound that it gives is really similar to a V-twin. And if you're wondering if this is just a design, actually the purpose of this one is its air intake. So each detail has a purpose. I'm not really a fan of the KTM Duke 790 stock side mirrors because first, it's ugly. Second, it isn't that wide. And third, you cannot see anything from its behind. So if you're trying to choose the KTM Duke 790, first is change it into a bar inside mirrors or replace the stock mirrors with the bigger side mirrors to make it even sharper. And I'm not gonna lie, I really love the design of the KTM's headlight. It is very aggressive and very sharp. So again, it has a LED daytime running light and it has an LED light. So aside from that, you can see the daytime running light very clear. It's somewhat similar to a scalpel. The only sad part about the KTM is it does not have any hazard, but the turning indicators are all LEDs. So let us go to the rear. So this is what it looks like if you are behind. So it has an LED rear light. And let us go to the TFT display and check all of the indicators. So the left side is ABS, traction control, bottom is neutral, and the right side is malfunction and oil. So let us go to the settings. So for the settings, check the riding modes. So let's wait, riding modes. So bottom. So check. So it has 4 riding modes: sports, street, and rain, and the last one is track. So let us go to the motorcycle. So we want to see the quick shifters. So let's go. So quick shifter is on, ABS is road, shift light, and that's what is in the motorcycle. So in the front, so what you have here is time, temperature, trip, and the range of your fuel. So on the panel, we have temperature, fuel. So again, and the RPM and speedometer and modes in the upper. So I believe that's it. So we have a KTM brand here in the bottom. So let us go to the switches. So let us go to the switches. So the quality of plastic is nice. The quality of switches are also nice, very good quality. So in the bottom is turning indicators, horn, and here is the high beam, low beam, and passing light. So on the right side, very simple, ignition, and start. So that's it. Let's check the clutch lever. So the clutch lever is very light because it has assist slipper clutch. So again, it has an auto adjuster installed. And the type of texture that they used here is rough, so your hands wouldn't miss. So the quality of the grips are also nice, very good quality. The right side, same as the clutch lever, while the quality of the grip are also nice. Again, like I said, the quality of plastic is also nice, good quality, very sturdy and very strong. So we can see here the barcode of the KTM. So handlebars are nice. So this is your point of view when you ride the KTM Duke 790. Because I ran out of time today, I couldn't do a test drive with the KTM Duke 790. So I'm gonna review it purchasing for a 603,000? And also, are you capable of riding the KTM Duke 790? So again, that's it for the specs. Now let us go for the test drive and experience the power of the KTM Duke 790. Let's go. I'll assume that you saw the